Hey guys, so hello and welcome to another SCRANCAM after a brilliant 4-1 victory against Istanbul, obviously reversing the horrible embarrassment of losing to one of the probably the worst sides in the Champions League in Turkey last couple of weeks ago. So much better performance tonight, especially the first half. Really, really impressed with Donny van de Beek in particular. So I think that's probably the best place to start. So Donny van de Beek, for me, absolutely brilliant performance, kept it simple, passing forwards, or if he wasn't passing forwards, it wasn't 5-yard sideways passes. He moved the ball around the press, get it out of the dangerous area, and allowed us to progress up the pitch. I mean, it's fantastic tonight. What do you make of Van de Beek's performance tonight, Dak?
I think, what have we been saying, Cam, since we've started doing videos? Our biggest problem is connecting midfield to attack. One of Bruno's goals was a wonder strike, let's be honest, and technically the second one was a bit lucky, but he wouldn't have been in them positions, mainly the second goal, if Donny van de Beek isn't playing in that midfield. You just get to keep him concentrated in these areas that he's so good at. And Donny van de Beek is brilliant off the ball at finding space, but he's also brilliant on the ball at finding space. He can knock a ball around a corner, which not many people in the league can probably do. He's so good on the ball. He's got such a brilliant footballing IQ. It's just something that, everyone that thinks he's a 10 just can't understand. I think he has unlocked, I hate to use that word because it's associated with Paul Pogba, but he has unlocked a way for us to score goals. I mean, if you come to the front three as well, we all know I love Martial, but Martial on that left-hand side, he provided width, he provided good defensive cover, he provided an outlet, and so did Rashford. I thought Rashford was brilliant tonight. I think if you look at one of the first ever SCRANCAM or the first ever stream we did, I said Marcus Rashford, I don't know sometimes if he's good or he's bad. I think every time I'm about to think he's bad, he pulls out a performance that's borderline world class. And I thought today he was absolutely unbelievable. I thought he held his width brilliantly. When he did drift inside, it was for good reason. He was looking to create. He scored a penalty. He had a goal disallowed. He could have scored early on with that lovely little bit of it. I don't know what the skill was, but he beat a man. I think that front three is very exciting. And also Cavani, he doesn't look 33. You know what I mean? He looks like he's 28, 29. He's got a bit of speed off the ball. He's got the intelligence. I loved the legs dummies he was given in the second half. Oh, that got me going, that did. That front three was exciting. But without Donny van de Beek, we wouldn't have been able to connect the midfield to attack, and we would have been, trying to score 0.2 XG chances like we've been trying to do all season. He was so pivotal, Donny, in unlocking the cohesion going forward. The only problem with Donny, though, is I don't think you can play that midfield every week. It's a luxury midfield. I think what we've done, though, I think we've got the formula now to beat the low block cam. The formula that really has been troubling us. If you wanted to add an extra layer to that, you just take Marcus Rashford out and put Mata on the right, and then you've got even more of another key to open the defensive block. It's just it's looking forward, but against a team with quality, we'll concede about 2 or 3 with that midfield, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, we conceded chances in that game, and it was a bit concerning how many we were conceding. Obviously, against a Premier League top quality team, we may struggle to keep a clean sheet, but against a low block, a weaker team, it is always possible to play like this midfield, I think. Especially on the right-hand side, you got Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming back. But I think that partnership of him and Rashford does seem to work, because obviously a lot of the time Rashford was keeping his width. He was holding the width out on the right, and he can put a ball in the box. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka is not the best going forward. So maybe rather than having someone cutting in that requires Wan-Bissaka to be much higher, if you have Rashford there who is holding the width the majority of the time, but he can also be a threat on that diagonal ball, that diagonal run infield. Maybe that's a better partnership than what we've been seeing so far. Obviously, I felt when Mason Greenwood came on, he looked good as well. But yeah, I liked Rashford out on the right today. You've been sort of critical of Rashford lately. What did you make of him today?
Well, like I just alluded to earlier, I thought he was brilliant, and I've said many a time, even when I've criticised him, I've said I love the guy. I want him to do well. I've always put it with a caveat, and everyone does. I'm not the only person. That's not a new opinion. I think, sometimes his decision-making can be a little bit off. I think, there are times when he's confused in the team because he doesn't know what he's doing. And I think because of Tony Martial today providing someone who can just hold that width nicely, be an outlet, even hold the ball up from the wide positions whilst you've also got a central player. Rashford could afford to try and score and come inside. He could afford that because we still had that width on the left. And I didn't actually notice really at all in the game, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
No, he was getting higher up, which was nice. But I think the balance seems to be a lot better, actually. I think like on the left. So what I was expecting coming into the game was, so obviously on the right, you got having Rashford on the right and you got Telles on the left. I was expecting sort of Martial, Cavani, Bruno Fernandes, and maybe one of Van der Beek or Fred packing the box all the time, getting forward, getting themselves into the box and just spamming crosses from Rashford and Telles either side. But that's not really what we saw. I mean, we saw a little bit of that. And it's always good to have that threat because when that threat's there, it forces the opposition to come out and close you down if you're going to deliver a good ball. So it's nice to have Telles in the team and Rashford in the team for that. But that's not really what we saw. We saw United actually being able to play through Istanbul, being able to make the most of the spaces. And as you said right at the start, it keeps coming back to Donny van der Beek. That brilliant link in the pivot, making us have some sort of transition from the defence to the attack. And it's what we've been missing for a long time. Fred and McTominay, as much as they work hard, they're good against a big team. Honestly, against a team that will sit back or a team where you need the penetrative passes, you need the likes of, whether it's Pogba, whether it's Van der Beek. And by the way, it's difficult to make a case for Pogba when Van der Beek is working a lot harder and performing like that. I think if Pogba get back up to fitness, great. But actually, no, let's not make this about Pogba. Let's just talk about Van der Beek and the brilliant performance we had tonight from all the lads. For me, Edinson Cavani as well. I want to talk about him. The way he was sort of dropping off, linking up, and defensively as well. He was coming back. He was often in the midfield areas, like we saw from Harry Kane for Spurs against City. He was making tackles everywhere. Cavani was doing the same tonight. He was working hard. He was everywhere defensively, and his link-up play was good. So I think this might genuinely be Manchester United's strongest lineup right now.
I'd be hard to disagree with you. I think Cavani's added something that I could only hope. I mean, if we were on a live on transfer deadline day when we signed him, you would have seen. I was like a tomato. I was so red and angry. But I watched a few videos of him talking about the club. I realised that he was a nice guy, and I was thinking, if this comes off in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to be happy. He's basically like the same way I felt about Igalo because he was a United fan and I wanted him to do well is the same way I felt about Cavani. But it's not just like I hope he does well. He is still world class. He just is. His movement off the ball is unbelievable. He's like you said, his link-up play, his intelligence. He's only going to get fitter. He's only going to understand, how we. Many people don't think we do, but understand how we actually play. Like, I just loved that he didn't. Obviously, he probably got a shout. But like I said before, I love the way he just left the ball run through his legs. The confidence to do that. I mean, you know what I mean. He
did that a few times tonight. Actually, I think it was a great performance. I think Cavani, he's got a lot to offer this team clearly, but I think maybe Solskjaer he took a gamble tonight. He played Martial arguably out of position based on where he's been playing him. He put Rashford on the opposite side. Brought in Cavani, obviously, put Van der Beek, obviously, technically out of position based on what people where people thought he was going to play. He made some gambles tonight with his selection, and it's got to be said, they paid off. I mean, yeah, we gave away chances, but that will come in time when sort of if Van der Beek and Fred are allowed to form a partnership, they'll get a little bit more comfortable with each other defensively. They'll get better in that area. But what was important was that the gamble came off, and going forward, especially in that first half, we looked really, really exciting. And it's what. It's the basic you want to see as a fan. A team that excites you going forward. And first half especially, we had that. Second half, when we sort of dropped in and played a bit more defensively, we weren't so good. We couldn't retain the ball as well. And we struggled to cope with their formation change to a 4-4-2. And look, that may present some issues for the weekend against Southampton.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall I was quite pleased with tonight. The gambles paid off and it was back to an exciting performance. So from my perspective, brilliant tonight.
I think tonight might be the most important night in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's career at Manchester United, because tonight he has found a way to beat teams that he can't beat as a rule. He's known as the big game manager. He can beat PSG. He can beat a City. He can beat a Barcelona if he wants to on his day. He can beat Real Madrid on the day. He can beat a Bayern probably, maybe. I think this team
maybe not
plays. Well, Bayern didn't they draw against Freiburg at home or something last week? I think they're a bit vulnerable now. But anyway, my point is, if he's found a way to beat a low block, that almost puts us top 3 in the league without trying.
Yeah, I mean, the one issue with the low block, playing against the low block, was just that we had no one to move that ball from the pivot to our attacking players. And as soon as we can find that link, whether it comes from Tellez, whether it comes from Van der Beek, whether it comes from Pogba, whoever it is, find that link without losing too much defensively, and suddenly, as you say, top 2, top 3 of the league, no problem. It'll be a breeze. If we can start breaking down those low blocks, we can genuinely start winning pretty much every game and go on long runs. So yeah.
I totally agree. And I mean, we kind of need to take away this just for this season. I think it's important. I know a lot of fans want to, just want us to play one team, one style. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that. I just don't think you can do that. Not with this season, not with this group of players. You can't do that. You've just got to play to us, to the strength. You can't go play like we did tonight with a higher line against a team like Liverpool. We'd get minced with Harry Maguire at the back. We have to play. We have to play dependent on the game. We just have to, just for this season, and then hopefully the board back Ollie if he gets there.
So you reckon we're not quite good enough yet to be the one sort of setting the standard? We're going to play like this. You have to match us for opposition. We still got to be in that mindset of however you're going to set up. We need to set up in a way that counteracts that. We're
still 3 or 4 players away from that. We're still as good as Marcus Rashford is. I mean, we're still a right winger away from that, a proper right winger. I would like to see how he morphs if he stays there. Who knows? Next game, or he might go back to the same way. I still think, as good as Donny van der Beek was tonight, we could basically eliminate the problem we have in the fact that we gave away chances. If we got basically a DM that can do what Donny could do.
Who do you get though? Who's available in the current market?
Well, no one's available.
Declan Rice is good, but I don't see him doing that kind of passing. I don't see him being that capable of making those long vertical passes, nice balls into the striker's feet. He's a good player, but I'm not sure he's got that in his locker yet. He's obviously grown a lot in that sort of area the last couple of years, but I don't think he's quite there yet. So Declan Rice, maybe not an option, but maybe Zachariah or someone like that. Maybe, look, Sandro Tonali, get him in and we'd be absolutely fine. But obviously he wants to stay in Italy.
When we bought, he does, doesn't he? He doesn't want to leave Italy. But when we bought Donny van der Beek, no one thought we were buying him, or a reason why we were buying him is because he's a brilliant passer of the ball. He's a brilliant progressor of the ball. That's not why people thought we were buying him. We thought, he's a little bit of a Matter-esque player, loves a goal, running into the box, great positionally. So you don't know really, do you? There might be a player out there that can take a step up. There might be a player out there that we might not just associate with passing a ball and defend. I don't know. It's an area we obviously do need to look at, because we can play one style if we had a DM that was both good defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
Because Fred is kind of a little bit in the halfway house between both of them. He's not quite good enough defensively, and he's not quite good enough offensively, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that is definitely something that the board and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have to look at going forward. And as you say, with Van der Beek, maybe it's not something we associated with him when he brought him in necessarily. But with that sort of Ajax education coming through the Ajax academy, you're comfortable playing in any area of the pitch. So whether you're supposedly a 10, you're supposedly a 9, you're a fullback. You can play in anywhere, any area of that pitch. You saw in that Champions League Ajax run to the semi-finals. I just remember I've got these sort of visions keep coming back and trying to get rid of them, to be honest. But Matthijs de Ligt keeps popping up in the right wing position, putting in a great ball, great pullback to Tadic or whatever. They're all so comfortable anywhere on the pitch. And it's brilliant to see players like that coming into a bigger club like United. Obviously, no disrespect to Ajax, who have been brilliant traditionally, but coming into a bigger club, a European super club like United, and showing the other players who maybe their egos maybe a little bit ahead of them, and showing them actually, you got all this sort of technical ability or whatever. The most important thing is what's in there. And that's what Donny van de Beek's got that so many other players, especially at the top level, don't seem to have.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think this game also in a way kind of nearly sums up our season and how it was a little bit frustrating because obviously we had to take the subs off. We had to take the players off for the subs. But we could have, if we wanted to, we probably could have scored 7 past these at one point. We looked unbelievable. Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes he's unbelievable, Cam. I don't know what else I can say about the guy. I'm tearing up nearly thinking about him. I just want to have his children.
He's a ridiculous player, as you said, the best we've had since Wayne Rooney. So, I think on that note, that's brilliant performance from me. Brilliant performance from United for me. But yeah, I think no more words left. So, have you got anything left? I mean, other than that, I think Bruno Fernandes, fantastic. Donny van de Beek has to start. He's a brilliant, brilliant player. Yeah, anything you want to say to sort of sum up? And
I do want to talk about Mason Greenwood just a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I just want to say, obviously, I nearly said something then as if like he was watching. I just want to say a massive shout out to Mason Greenwood. No, I just want to say just unbelievably mature performance tonight. Is after his friend, after the hounding of the media, he comes on his first touch. Okay, he's a little bit greedy. I like that, but he is a little bit greedy. He can pass sometimes. Got an assist though. Great performance, I thought, from Mason when he came on. He held the ball well at times. He passed the ball well at times. He started to use his speed as well, which I liked. That first touch he did back straight away. He got unlucky with taking it around the keeper as well. I thought after everything he's been through, against a team that had changed shape, we were, struggling for momentum. Playing in some sort of weird position as well. Like he was at one point he was a left attacking midfielder, then a right attacking midfielder, then down the middle, then off Cavani. I just thought he was brilliant. I mean, just thought he was. But I love him, don't I, sir?
Yeah, no, I was really impressed with Mason, especially that turn of pace, as you said. I thought, it was the moment I thought, actually, you know what? Mason Greenwood is seriously quick. And it was good to see. It's just showing he's bringing all of his different parts of his game to the fore. And it's going to be fantastic to see how he develops in future. I'm so excited to see him become a top-level player.
Absolutely. And just quickly before we end it, I know we'll round it off to 20 minutes, shall we? Southampton at the weekend, because I don't think we're going to be doing another SCRANCAM, are we, before Southampton? So they're a dangerous side. They're a heavily, heavily pressing side. I think we can't play this midfield against them, in my opinion. Luckily, Danny Ings is out. If Theo Walcott missed about 18 clear-cut chances against Wolves yesterday. So hopefully he's forgot his shooting boots. But Ralph Hasenhüttl can probably show you why at the weekend he's one of the best managers in the league, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be an interesting one. I think against pressing teams in general, the trap we seem to fall into is far too often we're playing horizontal passes, playing ourselves into pressure and into more trouble, rather than just looking for more direct vertical balls, whether it's over the top, whether it's just through lines straight away. When you're in a 4-4-2, playing against a 4-4-2, you've got to make those direct passes. You've got to make sure that you're targeting the area they're most vulnerable, which is the space in behind. So against Southampton, that's so, so important for us to do. And it's going to be really important and really interesting to see whether United have learned from our past mistakes against pressing teams and are able to put that into practice against Southampton. If we can, we'll win the game. We saw what Tottenham did to them a while back. But if we don't, then we could easily be staring down the barrel of a 4 or 5-0 defeat. Because if we consistently play ourselves into trouble, Southampton will score goals, they will win the ball back, and we'll be in so much trouble. You never know. Pressure suddenly mounts on Ole again.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I think that's a good place to end it.
So yeah, quickly, predictions for the weekend then. How do you think it's going to go? Score prediction.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm going to say 2-1 United.
Difficult, yeah. I think I'll go with 1-1. I think it'll be a really tough game.
As if the Ralph Hasenhüttl stand thinks we're going to beat him. And
yeah, I guess you can't be disappointed if you're predicting a poor result. Not the way to do it, but yeah, there we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed the SCRANCAM. We'll catch you again on the weekend for Man United versus Southampton. And until then, take care and see you very soon.
See ya.